Hello and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be rereading the first book that I ever wrote. Now this was probably the book that I wrote when I was, I want to say 14 or 15. It was the first book I ever put on Wattpad, which I then rewrote a couple of years later when I was 16 or 17, and even then that one's not particularly good either. But yeah, this video is all about just going back to my first ever story, and I warn you, it's going to be pretty cringe, but also it's really fun to see how far my writing has come since then. But before we begin the video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and you can also check out my Patreon in the link below, where I post weekly chapters of my new, better stories, much better than the one you're about to hear today, and some other like video content and all goodies like that. So yeah, please check out my Patreon. Money from Patreon is going to be going towards living, but also hopefully self-publishing my stories one day. So definitely go check it out, although there is a free membership as well, so there's no pressure to pay any money at all. Anyway, let's begin with Waterfalls, Chapter 1, the Elemental Dragon Shifter story. Now, I did briefly go over this on Wattpad because many years ago, back in, well, let's see, I think I signed up for Wattpad on the 31st of December 2014. So basically, I think I started Wattpad in 2015. And when I was writing on whatever, it wasn't a Word document, I think it was like OpenOffice or something like that. When I copy and pasted it over to the Wattpad document, it like closed a lot of the gaps in the words. So a lot of the words were like joined together, so I had to go through it really quickly the other day and just split those words up again, but I haven't actually edited any of it, and I'm gonna have to do this before every single chapter because yeah, all like there's loads of double words all over the chapters, so I'm getting rid of those double words because they're a pain in the bum to read, but I haven't edited it, so this is it in its raw form. That got, I think, about 20 reads back in the day. The new version, which I say new, the version I wrote 2 or 3 years later, which I will do like a series 2 of this series of. That's still available on Wattpad, and it has about 50,000 reads, so not bad. Also, if my voice sounds bad, I've had a not very nice cold over the last 2 days, 2-3 days, so yeah, my voice sounds a little bit weird, but hey, let's go with it. We're just going to start reading. Torin, light the fire, I yelled to my brother. He turns around and takes a look at the pile of wood in the centre of the cave. He takes a deep breath and blows fire out of his mouth. I can feel the warmth from the flames even as I sit at the edge of the cave. The flames glows against our faces. My brother turns and faces the wall again, ignoring us. He's in a bad mood as usual. I hang my... Oh, already 1 paragraph in, I can't read. I hang the meat over the flames to cook. In the corner of the dim cave, my sisters are fighting. It's a common occurrence and always ends in someone's blood being drawn. I have no idea what it is about, but it's probably something pathetic. Enough, I say loudly. I also want to state that when I used to write dialogue, I used to end it in a full stop, no matter what. So I know obviously it ends most of the time in a comma before saying I said or I say. No, every single piece of dialogue, if it's not like an exclamation point or a question mark, is like enough, full stop, I say. I know they heard me, but they ignore me. What a surprise. I sigh and walk over to them, throwing each of them to the other ends of the cave. The rocks shuddered as each of them hit the wall. They fall to the floor and hiss, their teeth sharp, their eyes changing. Enough, I say, quietly, but not in a way that you can ignore. They growl again, and their features return to normal. They sit down opposite each other, the fire in between them. Torin, come and sit with us, I order. He huffs, smoke coming from his mouth. He stands and sits opposite me. I sigh. I'm here, he says grumpily. I sneer at him. Food's ready. It doesn't take long for the meat to cook, as my brother's fire is hotter than most. He tears a large chunk of the boar and we dig in. I need to sneeze. This sentence structure and sentences all beginning with I is top tier writing, my guys. I look at my siblings. They are all stunningly beautiful. Oh my gosh, why is it like the moment I actually start reading and talking to a camera, that's when my nose decides it wants to block and make me sound even more nasally than I already do. Like, it has been fine all morning. Like, I've been great. And now, when I want to actually film content, here it goes. I look at my siblings. They are all stunningly beautiful. They all have pale, creamy skin. Apart from that similarity, they are all so different. My younger sister, Tanya, is 16 years old. Her hair is a rich, dark shade of purple. It's long and perfectly straight, falling halfway down her back. It glistens in the firelight. She likes to keep it perfect. She washes it regularly and always tries to brush it. She has an oval face with sharp cheekbones. Her lips are pale, pink and full. Her nose is perfect and her eyes are round. They are also a rich amber colour. She's very tall too. Her older twin is equally as beautiful. Serenity, unlike Tanya, doesn't care about her looks. Her hair is rich, emerald green, which is shorter and knotted. Her creamy skin is smeared with dirt. Her features are a lot softer than Tanya's. Her face is round, her eyes large, and a striking shade of royal blue. She is the same height as Tanya. They are both striking. My younger twin brother is also striking. I wonder how many times I've said that in the last paragraph. My sister's already tall, but he is even larger and full of muscle. His deep brown red hair is slightly spiked. His face is strong and angular, his eyes red. I sigh. I don't really know what I look like. I know that my hair is thick and curly. It is also white. I try to clean and brush it as much as possible so it doesn't get too uncontrollable. I'm also a lot shorter than everyone else, especially Torin, who towers over me. Because, of course, I wrote a short female character. I mean, it's hardly a surprise. I'm 4'11". But yeah, wasn't that the thing, or isn't that the thing everyone's like kind of sick of? It's like all the female characters, everyone around them is so tall and they're so small and dainty and perfect. Yeah, I did that. I did that for a long time, actually. Now I try and make my female characters average height or sometimes even taller because the tall girls need some representation too. We finished eating quickly. There wasn't enough to quench our hunger, but it would have to do. I'm going to start the sentence again. We finished eating quickly. There wasn't enough to quench our hunger, but it would have to do. I stand and walk along the dark cave passage and stand on the ledge overlooking the whole valley. The forest goes on for miles, and rocky mountains rise high around the valley. This cave is high in the mountains, and is almost always hidden in a thick layer of clouds. In the distance, I can see the smoke from village fires miles and miles away. I can only see that because of my enhanced eyesight. We seclude ourselves from humans. If they found out what we are, they would kill us. Not that they can, but it makes our life easier if they don't know what we are or that we are here, which is why these mountains are so perfect to hide in. No humans dare venture up here. It is far too dangerous. The weather is temperamental. It could be sunny one second, then no visibility the next, not to mention the almost always cold temperature and the slippery ledges and ridges which lead to drops of hundreds of meters. This is pure telling. Like, maybe I should do another series where I workshop this and point out all the flaws instead of just reading it and laughing at it. But yeah, all of this is just pure telling instead of showing. But then again, let's remember, I was 14 or 15 when I wrote this. And to put like that into reference, I guess, I'm 27 now, so this is about 12 years old. We are shifters, dragon shifters. I sigh. We have lived in these caves for 7 years with ragged animal skins for clothes. I think back to my siblings. Each of us are a different element. Torin is fire, Tanya is air, Serenity is earth, and I am water. Where did that come from? Like, they were just talking, like, she was just talking about living in the cave, and now it's like, I'm just thinking to myself how we have each got control over the elements. That's such a random train of thought that came out of nowhere. With each of us different elemental dragons, it's easy for us to stay warm, cool, and survive. It's easy for us to hunt. I look up at the sky and wish I could fly, but that would mean I have to change. In dragon form, I'm huge. My sisters are small and agile. My brother and I are big and powerful. My sensitive hearing picks up the sound of another fight. I sigh in annoyance, frost coming from my mouth. Ooh. I shouldn't have done that. I interrupted myself. Where was I? There we go. I head back into the caves. My sensitive eyes allow me to see perfectly in the dark. As soon as I'm in the main area, I see what's going on. All three of them are fighting. Scales form around their hairline and neck, the same colour as their hair. Their eyes, wrong there by the way, eyes have also changed. There are no longer round pupils, but diamond-shaped ones instead. Again, I have no idea what they're fighting about. Stop! Full stop. I yell. My teeth sharpen. I feel the scales crackle over my skin and my pupils change from circle to diamond. I don't know how she would feel her pupils changing because... Never mind, I'm just ignoring it. I don't, yeah. Let's continue. They all stop and glare at me with angry expressions. Tanya growls. I growl back, louder and more menacing. I haven't seen what my eyes are like when I'm angry, but it must be scary if they cower from my glare. She steps back. I look at all of them in the eye. Time for sleep, full stop. I order. I go over to the fire and blow frost over it from my mouth. It goes out immediately. We all hug up together and drift off to sleep. There you go. That was the first introductional paragraph. This is a work of art. Can this keypad stop coming up, please? I know it's morning when we wake, even though the cave is still pitch black. I stand and stretch my muscles, which are aching, though it won't do much. My body longs to be in its dragon form, but the pain from shifting is intense. Because, my girl, I had to keep a reason for my girl not shifting. I had to make her so special. My bare feet make a soft slapping sound on the cold cave floor, which doesn't affect me anyway. What does that sentence even mean? Standing on the same ledge I did before, I look over the valley below. I think that actually says bellow. I look over the valley below. Surprisingly, it is a clear day. Rare, because it normally rains. Not that I mind the rain. Again, she's just so different. In fact, I prefer it. It means that our cave entrance cannot be seen by anyone walking below. Not that people walk near here, but just in case. The skies are pure blue, without even a small cloud. Though it isn't hot yet. I know it will be soon as midday comes around. The sun has only just risen, so it isn't hot yet. I know, girl, you've already said. For a few minutes, I get to sit in peace. Morning, Isla, I hear Torrin's voice behind me. I turn around and see him walking out the cave. I smile at him. Morning, I reply. He comes and stands next to me, towering above me in a wall of muscle. Yep, we know you've already said he's big. Don't have to repeat it over and over again, girl. I wish we could move, he says. Where? I sigh. I don't know, just away from here. Let's just fly somewhere, he exclaims. Torrin, we've had this conversation. We aren't leaving this cave. We are safe here, I say. He sighs again. But Isla, no, I have spoken, I tell him. He sighs. I can't make too many comments about the constant he sighs because I think I still do that in my writing. Even now, every character just always be exasperated. We aren't even living. We are surviving. I long to shift, but no, we can't, he begins to rant. Enough, Torrin, I snap. The other two come out of the cave having heard us fight. Fighting about leaving again, Serenity asks, her voice soft. I look around and smile at her. Your brother can't seem to accept the fact that we're safe here. That we know the area and that this has been our home for so long, I tell her. She sighs. Another one who's sighing. I know, Isla, she tells me. I agree with Torrin, Tanya says. I'm sick of it here. I just want to fly away, she says. But I understand that for now we are safe here and I know that we don't want to see each other hurt, she explains. Oh yes, Tanya, she's such a good girl. We will stay here for a while longer, is all I say. We are silent for a few minutes. Come on, we should hunt, I tell them. They all nod in agreement. I step forward to the edge of the ledge. There we are, it's a mouthful, isn't it? Where there is a long drop to the ground. We go to the steep stairs we had built in the mountain. Well, they're more like large boulders of rock stuck into a gap in the side of the mountain. It is these boulders we jump down to get to the ground and use to climb back up again. Once on the ground, we run into the forest. The trees are blurring around us at the incredible speed we are running. I stop when we come to the edge of a lake. The lake has clear waters, and without the wind, it reflects the trees that surround it and the tops of the mountains which poke out above the evergreen woodland. The greens of the leaves and the clear blue skies are bright reflected on the water. That doesn't make sense. Sit, I order. We sit in a circle, opposite our twins next to the lake. Close your eyes, I order. This girl be bossy as fuck. We do. I want you to listen to our surroundings. See if there's anything close by. I want you to smell the forest, the scents of the earth and the wind and the water, of the animals and any humans who may be passing. I order. Stop talking. Used order 3 times in the space of 3 lines. order, and we stop talking. I focus on my hearing, the soft sound of the water as it moves gently over the shore, the ripple as a fish, or actually that says as I fish, swims beneath it. I hear the wind ruffle through the branches, the singing birds and the sound of them landing on the branches. Girl, your amount of repeat words. I focus deeper. I know it is miles away, but I hear the sound of a deer, the sound of its hooves softly hitting the ground as it brushes through the woodland growth. I even hear its pulse. I know it's alone, and that there is nothing else within 10 miles around us apart from the wildlife. No humans. I then focus on the smells of the forest, the fresh water and the earthy smell, even the scent of the animals which are carried in the soft wind. Opening my eyes, I see the others are still concentrating. Together, they open their eyes. There is a deer 7 miles away, to the north, my brother says. Serenity smiles sadly. She loves the animals of the earth and doesn't like hunting the earth's creatures. But being a dragon means that we need meat. I nod my head. What does that got to do with anything? Why would she not have hair? Whatever. Also, this story was not set on Earth, so I don't know why I've put hunting the Earth's creatures when this is not Earth's. Anyway, they're about to do some hunting, so let's get back to that. We race through the forest and come to the edge of a small grass clearing where the deer stands. I make gestures with my hands for my siblings to get into position. Why is there a comma there? We each cover a different direction so the deer can't escape. Even, though we could run and kill it before it even knows what's happening. Great sentence structure. I see Tanya opposite me. No, that's not where we ended. We do it this way so that we can train to work together. I see Tanya opposite me, hidden in the forest. I nod my head and she nods back. The wind stops, making sure that the deer doesn't catch our scent. I whisper under my breath, knowing my siblings can hear it. Make the kill quick and painless, I order. Serenity, I say. Maybe that probably should have been whispered as well, but oh well. She nods her head at me, then races silently towards a deer. She reaches it in a second and snaps its neck. It is dead instantly. She sits next to the body of the deer, whispering our prayer. Thank you for the life you have given so that we can feed. May you return to the earth from where you came, she says, stroking the fur down its neck. She says, stroking the fur down its next. We all nod our heads. They are so respectful. Well done, I say. Get some firewood, I order. It isn't long before we have a fire in front of us, and Torin has lit it and we cook the deer. We could eat it raw, but prefer not to. Torin focuses on controlling the fire, making sure no smoke rises and gives away that we are here. Once we have eaten the deer, we clean everything up, leaving no evidence that we were even here. Come on, we have more training, I tell my siblings. They all nod. Since we were 10, we have been living like this. None of us remember where we lived before the cave. We've only known the cave. However, we do have weapons that came with us with that. However, we do have weapons that came from wherever we lived before. These are what we use to train with. We've hidden them all over the forest. They are only children's blades, as we were only young when we arrived here. I have 2 daggers. They are small with black handles, nothing too fancy. My brother has a sword with a thick blade. Serenity has 2 small axes, and Tanya has a whip and with a blade on the end. They aren't very strong, so we don't really spar with them. We just use them to practice new moves. We just use them to practice new moves with. We won't use them today. So, what was the point of that paragraph? Girl. We are focusing on our powers today. We are going to make weapons out of them, learn how to use them in a fight, I say. They nod and I see their eyes change, the pupils shifting to diamond instead of circular, and scales the same colour of their hair forming around their hairline, eyes and neck. I too change as I make 2 slim blades of ice. We fight each other, I say. We stand in a large circle, waiting for one of us to attack. Tanya attacks first. Her attack! Her attack is quick. Throwing her hand back, she gathers the wind and snaps it towards us, swinging it in a circle like a whip. The strong gusts send us flying back, but we land on our feet. Everyone attacks at once. Torin sends balls of fire, shooting at us all. I dive out of the way, rolling on the ground and throwing sharp shards of ice in his direction. He blocks them with a wall of fire. Serenity uses the distraction to wrap his arms and legs up in thick roots which he burns out of. We continue battling with our powers, no one getting the upper hand. A funny feeling enters my stomach. Stop, I whisper. Oh no, sorry, let me do that again. Stop, I whisper. We all freeze. We look at each other in panic when we hear the sounds of boots marching in sync over the forest floor. Sync is also spelled S-I-N-K, by the way. So, yeah, they are all marching in the sink, doing the dishes. Quick, in the trees, I whisper. We all run up to the trees. I jump onto the branch and swing myself up, quickly jumping up to the branches. I see the others hidden in the branches also. Where we had just been seconds ago, there are now people marching. They wear the same black leather breastplates, gloves, boots, with black weapons hanging from their belts. They all even have black hair, styled the same. Running down the middle of their head is a long strip of hair, tied at the bottom of their head. There is no hair on either side of the long black section. Yeah, because that made so much sense. They all march in time perfectly. My head snaps to the side when I see the man leading them, whose hand snaps up, signaling them to stop. I don't see his face. He wears a large black cloak around the armour which completely hides his face. The sound of him pulling out the sword echoes around the now silent forest. In fact, the skies have even darkened. Dark grey clouds now creating a thick layer over the once blue skies and fog drifting along the forest floor. Well, that sentence was a mouthful. The whole forest had gone completely silent. The birds had stopped singing and the branches didn't move as the wind had stopped. The sword the man pulled out is huge and gleaming silver. The thick gleaming metal had large silver rings around the bottom of the blade near the black handle. Everything freezes for a few seconds as we watch down, waiting to see what they would do. We even hold our breaths, staying completely still so as not to make a noise. I hear the man at the front taking deep breaths, smelling for our scents. They start marching again. I look at Torin and signal for the three of them to stay here. I creep along the branches, following the marching group. Who are they? What are they doing here? I think to myself. Come out now and we won't hurt you, the man at the front says. I stop, as do the army. I stay silent. The army seem to be confused. The man stays looking forward, but I know he talks to me. How do you know you won't hurt? No, that doesn't make sense. My apologies. How do I know you won't hurt me? I ask, keeping my voice soft. He chuckles, his voice deep. We won't, I promise, he tells me. We just want to talk, he tells me. Twice. I stay silent, then answer. I don't believe you, I say. Well, I'm sorry, Princess, but we're going to have to do this the hard way, he says. The trees, he shouts. I jump from the tree, landing silently on the muddy ground behind him. He turns and looks at me. It is silent, and I eel his eyes on me. Yet, I still can't see his face. I stand about 10 meters away from him, my arms by my sides, my hands facing away. Because they face away, he doesn't see the ice daggers forming in them. The long shards go down my hands, the spike ending at the top of my middle fingers. So, you decided to show yourself, Princess, he says. I stay motionless. Why are you after me? I ask. You'll find out soon enough, he says. I guess I'll have to wait longer then, I reply. He didn't see my finger curling around the shards of ice in my hands. With a flick on my wrist, they are flying towards him. He only just manages to block one, but the other lands in his chest. Get her, he shouts. I take off running, the fastest I have ever run in my life. The trees are a blur as I pass by in a flash. I start running uphill, the path getting steeper, but it doesn't stop me, nor slow me down. I hear them behind me and getting closer, and I come to a stop when I get to a huge drop below me and a waterfall falling down. The sound of water falling is booming. That wasn't even another sentence, by the way. Hold on, let me read that whole thing slower. And this is one whole sentence split up with only commas, no full stops. I hear them behind me and getting closer, and I come to a stop when I get to a huge drop below me and a waterfall falling down. The sound of the water falling is booming. Nowhere to go. You can still come with us now. I promise that you won't get hurt. I know he is lying. I shake my head. That's where you're wrong. I've lived in these lands for many years. I know every inch of it. Do you really think I would just run to a dead end? I ask. There's silence. Leave us alone, I say, then jump off the cliff. My body glides through the air as I fall, my hair whipping behind me. I feel like that should be around. Like, how could her hair be behind her? Oh well. Suddenly, a purple dragon appears below me. As soon as I land the dragon, it lies. That's meant to be flies. It flies at an incredible speed up into the dark clouds. Torin rides Serenity next to me. I guess you got your wish, Torin, I say. He just grumbles. Suddenly, Tanya freezes, as does Serenity. They just stop flying and start tumbling back down to the earth. Tanya, I shout as we fall through the crowds. I look at the ground below. Wake up, I shout, my voice in a panic. They can't catch us. Tanya! We continue to tumble, our bodies rolling in the air in a tangle as we fall to the ground. Closer and closer to the ground we get. It's suddenly in front of me. And everything goes black. So there you have it. Chapter 1 of my first ever story, Waterfalls. Chapter 1 of, I think, about 10. How many chapters does this have? Okay, no. It has 25. I remember I think this is actually version 2. There was, the first ever version had only 10 chapters. And then I did this one with the 25 chapters, and then I scrapped it and did a whole new one starting from the very beginning that has about 60 chapters. But there you go. Chapter 1 of the first book that I ever wrote, and all of its quirks and repeated words. But you know what? It's not completely terrible. It did have its charm at the time, and I'm proud of it. I wouldn't be the writer I am today without the stories like that I began with. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that and you found it as amusing as I did to look back at all my early writing. And if you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye!